This is Dr. Kling, and I'm wanted to talk about something new this year, something I call virtual handouts or vHandouts. Some of you may know from that last year in both my economics class and my statistics class, I used videos. That is, the students would watch a video at home, and then we would use classroom time for other things. This is not, in my view, it's not distance education. I call this blended learning. That is, you assume the student uses some computer at home, maybe sometimes uses it in the classroom, but as a teacher, I'm still there. This is not something where I'm trying to teach thousands of students, although interestingly enough, some of the videos did get thousands of views. I don't know what people who got out of them who weren't studying the class, but whatever that was. My impression is that the videos made a small positive difference. It's very hard because we're not running a controlled experiment. There were many things different about last year's class. It was much bigger than any other class in recent years. We use a new edition of the textbook. The variety of abilities of students in the class, the disparity between the best students and the weakest students was far wider than it's ever been. So there were a bunch of conditions, positive and negative, that were different in addition to videos. My sense of it was that it made a slight improvement over what I think would have happened otherwise. But again, it's not a controlled experiment. I don't think it made a huge difference. I think this has a potential to make a larger difference. So let me just illustrate. Well, I'll illustrate a simple one first. This is just used in the statistics class. It may look pretty strange. But I assign a regular set of problems. I know at the beginning of the year which problems I'm going to assign for the whole year. So I don't know, let's pick the fifth problem set set 5. And let's say the students are doing a problem. Now, typically they'll be doing these problems in class. And so they would want to, so if they're going to use this while they're doing problems in class, they would have to have some kind of tablet or smartphone or computer accessible in class. But let's say they click on this, and it gives them a hint about this problem number 6.93. And so if you were to open the textbook and look at the problem, you'd see what that hint relates to. So that's called a homework hints handout. It's just peculiar to the AP statistics class. Nothing. I don't want to go too much more into that. Another use, in addition to being in class, is if a student goes away for a week, so that they won't be able to do the exercises in class, and they're going to have to do it on their own. Then the hints could be useful when they're doing them on their own. But those hints are sort of like what I give when I'm in class and I'm wandering around, and this just makes it easier for me to give out the hints, since some of them I can give out without being around. Okay, then this is a more standard sort of thing. Let me just click on the first one. So what these are little things that are in quiz format in sort of multiple choice or true-false format. So we're classifying data. 70% of senators have wealth over $1 million. Is this categorical, quantitative, or binary? And so you think, well, $1 million, that sounds like quantitative data, but this 70% is a yes or no. So I believe the right answer is binary. I hope that's okay. So I click binary, and it says you answered binary. It says it's correct because each senator either does or does not have $1 million. And this progress bar moves up. And the idea of these little quizzes is they're not taken for a grade, but each student should keep answering questions until they move that progress bar all the way till it's all the way green. That shows that they've kind of mastered this particular topic. So this progress bar is a key thing in virtual handouts. The idea is that students are supposed to show mastery, and they may achieve that at very different rates. I would say if I'd given this to last year's class, some of the best students would have finished one of these things in 10, 12 minutes. Some of the weaker students might have had to work at it for well over an hour. So that's where the disparity is going to be, but I want every student to move the progress bar all the way to the right to show mastery on these things. These are basic skills. This is not critical thinking stuff. These are not complex, nuanced problems. They're just basics that I want to be second nature to all the students. And so I want everyone to move the progress bar all the way to the right. Another thing you'll notice is that this is all push button, and that means that it's easy to operate on a tablet, which I think is the natural environment. What do I mean by tablet? The iPad is a tablet. There's also a Google tablet. Kindle Fire is an example of a tablet. Those are tablets. Just as an aside, I think the tablets are going to really take off in the education arena. I could be wrong about that. People have been forecasting all sorts of effects of technology, but I think that it seems to me that the tablet really is doing something. And they're not so expensive. The Google tablet's $200. And there's no data plan that you have to get. It connects to the internet via Wi-Fi. So this is very push button. Obviously, if you just have a regular computer, a laptop, or a desktop computer, you use a mouse. But you can also do these virtual handouts just by push button on a tablet or even on a smartphone. Just another feature. Just notice that after you answer the question, whether you get it right or wrong, you get an explanation. I think that's very important. I've seen some very fancy software where you don't get an explanation after you give your answer of why you were right or why you were wrong, and I think that's a bad flaw. So I really wanted the explanation to be there. You have this weird button, I'm frustrated. You click that. You get some resources that a student can go to, either a textbook chapter or maybe a video. If they're just not getting, if they're not moving the progress bar and they've been at it for half an hour, maybe they should try watching a video or reading a textbook chapter or whatever. So I think that's all I need to say about the tour of these things. Just as, again, they're not for a grade. They are designed to build up some very basic skills. In statistics, I think the advantage for me is that, again, students are learning these things at very different rates. I really can't afford to hold up an entire class kind of waiting for the last student to demonstrate that they've gotten these basic skills. But if they can work on these on their own, and maybe they'll be doing some of this in class, but I'm thinking they'll be doing a lot of it at home, then there's not an issue of, I don't face the dilemma of having to figure out whether to pace the class to the best students or to the weakest students. Everyone can master these things at their own pace. So that's the goal in statistics. In economics, and I've got these in economics also. I'll do a pretty one here. So that some of these have diagrams and statistics as well. And in economics, a lot of these are topics that I don't teach very thoroughly. They're topics that that the best students get like almost immediately, almost intuitively, and other students take a really long time. So again, having a basic skill drill would allow, especially the weaker students, kind of in the privacy of their own home or using their own tablet, to take as much time as they need to master the topic. So that's the idea there. So the idea is to take some of the most basic concepts. Again, this is not to teach critical thinking or nuanced, complex issues. It's to get basic concepts across using what I think of as a skill drill type of format. Just as background, my original intent this is kind of a three-phase project. The first phase was so that I could develop these virtual handouts, these vHandouts. The second phase was would be other teachers could use the software, and then finally I would try to turn it into something that might be commercial grade. I barely got it to the point where I can use it. Technically it's possible for other teachers to use it, but it would be the directions are not entirely clear. It's not. It's certainly, I wouldn't call it user friendly at this point. I don't think it's at the point where I would want to go out and sell it to other teachers. But certainly, other teachers are welcome to use it, and I think that's all I'm going to say about this topic.